11 entitled The Universal Form, text number 5. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Bhashave Partha Rupani Satashot Atashashrasa Nana Vidani Divyani Nana Varna Kriti Nija Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Asya me Partha Rupani Satashrasa Nana Vidani Divyani Nana Varna Kriti Nija Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Asya me Partha Rupani Satashrasa Nana Vidani Divyani Nana Varna Kriti Nija Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Bhashya me Partha Rupani Satashrata Sahasrasa Nana Vidani Divyani Nana Varna Kriti Nija Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Asya me Partha Rupani Satashrata Nana Vidani Divyani Nana Varna Kriti Nija
Sri Bhagavan Vacha
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Pashya me Partha Rupani
Bhashya me Partha Rupani
Satashrota Sahasrata
Satashrota Sahasrasa
Nana Vidani Divyani
Nana Vidani Divyani
Nana Varna Kriti Nija
Nana Varna Kriti Nija Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Bhashya me Partha Rupani Satashrota Sahasrasa Nana Vidani Divyani Nana Varna Kriti Nija Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Bhashya me Partha Rupani Satashrata Sahasrasa Nana Vidani Divyani Nana Varna Kriti Nija Sri Bhagavan Uvacha The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Pasya Jasi Man Might Partha Osanaprita Rupani Forms Satashava Hundreds Atha also Sahasrasa Thousands Nana Vidani Variegated Divyani Divine Nana Variegated Varna Colors Pakritini Forms Cha also. Let's listen to the translation and perfect by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, O son of Pruta, See now my opulences, hundreds and thousands of varied, divine and multicolored forms. Please repeat after me. The Supreme Personality of God said, my dear Arjuna, O son of Pritha, see now my opulences, hundreds of thousands of varied, divine and multicolored forms. But Arjuna wanted to see Krishna in his universal form, which although a transcendental form, is just manifested for the cosmic manifestation and is therefore subject to the temporary time of this material nature. As the material nature is manifested and not manifested, similarly this universal form of Krishna is manifested and not manifested. It is not eternally situated in the spiritual sky like Krishna's other forms. As far as the devotee is concerned, he is not eager to see the universal form. But because Arjuna wanted to see Krishna in this way, Krishna reveals this form. This universal form is not possible to be seen by any ordinary man. Krishna must give one the power to see it. Om Jnanatirandasya Jnananja Shalakaya Chakshurumidmulena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadalamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namuste Tapta Kanchana Gaurani Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishamanusute Devi Varamani Hariye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Vasya me Bhata Rupani Sada Shotashvashvasa Nana Vidani Divyani Nana Varna Priti Dasha. The Supreme Personality of God has said, my dear Arjuna, O son of Pritha, see now my opulences, hundreds and thousands of variety, divine and multicolored forms. Okay, so we are going to start the talk by going through a brief overview of what is happening so far. So we have been reading chapter 9 and 10, and what did Krishna say at the end of chapter 9? He tells Arjuna in 9.34 that you always think of me, become my devotee, and offer obeisances to me. So what is the process of always remembering? How can you remember Krishna all the time? So then Krishna then specifies how you can remember him all the time living in this world by saying that whatever opulences that you see in this world, know that I am the cause of those opulences. So he lists a total of 82 different opulences in chapter 10. And he says that I am the best quality in a certain group of opulence. So Arjuna is completely convinced of Krishna's explanation of all the opulences that he has. And then Arjuna says that I want to now see that form of yours. You are saying that you pervade everything, but I want to see how you pervade everything. So Krishna says, okay, I've told you the theoretical knowledge in chapter 10, but now how do we visualize it? How do we make what was said in chapter 10 into a visual representation? That comes in chapter 11. So chapter 11 is all about the universal form, which now shows Arjuna that all the opulences that he had heard Krishna say, how is he actually those opulences? So those universal form actually shows all those opulences. And fine, and then in this section that we have from 11.5 to 11.8, now Krishna is preparing Arjuna because no one had actually seen this form of Krishna before. No one has seen the universal form. So Krishna is now prepping Arjuna to be able to understand the form, so that he's already warning Arjuna that in this form you'll see this, and this. You'll see Rudras, you'll see Maruts, you'll see the Rudras, the Maruts, the Adityas, and Devas. You'll see all of these in the universal form. So it's to prep Arjuna to understand what he's going to see. And then we go ahead and we say that from 9 to 14, Sanjaya describes whatever Arjuna is seeing to the Thrashta. And then from 15 onwards, we have a long list of things that happen. So let us go back. So in chapter 10, Krishna listed many opulences through which we are able to persistently remember him. Now Arjuna had asked Krishna in a humble mood to display all that Krishna had mentioned. But the key word here is humble. Arjuna asked Krishna in a very humble mood. It's only because he asked in a humble mood that Krishna was very pleased and he allowed to reveal himself to Arjuna. It's very important that you cannot understand this form through a mental speculation. This form can only be revealed to a devotee. It's not possible to understand this form in any other way. You have to become a devotee like Arjuna to understand. You have to become humble like Arjuna to understand this form. And then Arjuna is asking this, but his doubts already dispelled. So for what reason is he asking Krishna to show this form? He's asking, Arjuna is asking Krishna to show this form for two reasons. The first one is to substantiate all of Krishna's statements. Like Krishna has said so many things in the chapter 10, but now to make those words seem true, to make those words seem alive. Like all this time it's just a theoretical understanding, a complex notion. But how to now make it into a visual representation, how to understand it, that's what Arjuna wanted to do. He wanted Krishna to show that he is actually everything, and he pervades the entire cosmos. And the second reason is that Arjuna wanted to set a criteria that in the future, if somebody claims to be God, then he should be able to show the universal form to anyone who asks. So if somebody claims to be God, then the one way you can ask him is that, okay, if you're God, then at least show me your universal form. I want to see how you sustain everything. It's a very interesting story. It's a very interesting story in that one time Srila Prabhupada was giving a talk, and there was this one man who was keep on getting up in the class and saying that, oh, I am Krishna, reincarnated, I reincarnated as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and I was reincarnated again here. And Prabhupada was trying to ignore this person. And at the end, he said that Prabhupada told his disciples, make sure you hold him and just keep on feeding him prasadam. And don't let him leave to go to the toilet. Let's see how long he can hold it and show his supremacy as God. So if he is actually God, then he should not even leave the toilet and he will be able to eat everything. So by doing that, it humbled that person who was claiming to be God and trying to disturb the gathering at that time. So that's how we can understand that if it is God, if somebody gets to be God, then this is the test to prove that you are God. So Krishna proved it. He showed to Arjuna his universal form, and he shows that he is actually the creator, the maintainer, and the destroyer. He is the past, present, the future, He has got no beginning, no middle, and no end. So he shows he is everything, essentially. And then now we move to this block of verses, 11.5 to 11.8, where Krishna then describes what is about to come. So Krishna describes his universal form so as to accustom Arjuna to perceive it when revealed. It's like say somebody has been blind his entire life, and then he's had a successful eye replacement operation, and now he's about to see something that he's never seen before. But just to prepare him that, oh, when you open your eyes, you see sunlight, you see this, you see that. So try to show him or getting him prepared to see actually what is the truth, because up till now he has had very limited or if no vision at all, but now he is getting a special vision to be able to see not only in things in three-dimensional but in higher dimensional layers. To see the entire universal form, it requires special vision. So before he can get it, Krishna is prepping him to show him to at least prep him to understand what is to come. Then 11.9 to 11.14, Sanjay describes Arjuna's vision of the universal form. So he says that try to understand what it is. So he says there's unlimited faces, unlimited eyes. They're wonderful visions. The effulgence was like 1,000 suns rising at the same time. Arjuna saw everything from one place, and Arjuna bowed down and was astonished and could not comprehend Krishna's greatness. He was having his hair on end by seeing this wonderful form of Krishna. And then after witnessing this universal form or this Vishwarup, then Arjuna sees the Kalrup, which is like a special root inside the Vishwarup that Arjuna sees. That what is his Kalrup? His Kalrup is showing that all the soldiers on the Kurukshetra, apart from the Pandavas, they were all being eaten up by Krishna. They were all entering the mouths of Krishna, and he was getting a bit afraid as to the battle had not even begun. And what is this scene that I'm looking at? I'm looking at all the warriors entering a mouth. So he becomes fearful when he sees this. This is a very ferocious form, and he gets very, very fearful, and then he starts begging because he could see the future outcome of the war. And then in this fearfulness, he is asking Krishna, "Who are you?" So Krishna and Arjuna, they know each other for so many years, and they are acting, and they have so much deep relationship because they're devotees, and Arjuna is a devotee, and they're also friends. So how is it that Arjuna is asking Krishna, "Who are you?" So you can understand this, like even though you know somebody for so long, but all of a sudden they display a quality that you never thought you had in them, and that kind of alters your entire perception of that person. It's like, I did not know that you had this in you. For example, you're going on a street with your friend, and then the thugs who come on to attack you, and then your friend removes some karate moves and basically floors every of the thug, and you're thinking like, I remember you, like, I don't ever think you were a warrior, like, who are you? Like, I never saw this aspect of you before, so who are you? Like that astonishment, that's what Arjuna was feeling, that he could not understand or fathom that how astonishing Krishna's form is. And then Krishna then assures Arjuna, after seeing the Kalrup, Arjuna knows what the outcome of the war is going to be. So then Krishna assures Arjuna that I've already killed everyone on this battlefield. I just want you to become the instrument. And this is where we can now apply a spiritual lesson in our lives. So Krishna is saying to Arjuna that you just become my instrument. Because I've already killed everyone because I am time, and time kills everyone in due course. So you just have to be the instrument, because Krishna is very, very loving, and it's called Achyuta because he never fails to show affection to his devotees. And although it's his plan, but he always wants to give the credit to his devotees. So Krishna, because he is the supreme controller, he has a divine plan. He has a divine plan for all of us. And we just need to realize that and accept being his instruments and see the divine plan unfold. So this is a very interesting application. Because we always think when we come to the temple and we come towards the deities and then we pray that Bhagwan, please do this for me, and I'm going to give you obeisances and all that. But I know that you're powerful, but my thinking is better than yours. My power of thinking, of making plans is better than yours. I know I'm insufficient in resources, so you just provide the resources, I will do the thinking. But you are failing to understand that Krishna has unlimited resources and at the same time has unlimited intelligence. That he can plan much better than all of us, and he is also with got limitless resources. So whatever plan he has got, and plus he is the greatest well-wisher. So whatever plan he has got, it's always for the good of us. It's always for the good of us. So we should not go to the deities saying that, oh, I know more than you, you just do what I say. But instead we should say, how can I be of service to you? Right? This is how we can understand this. Arjuna is now willingly accepting to become an instrument of Krishna in this war. He is willingly saying that, okay, you want me to fight? I will fight. But I'm not fighting for myself. I'm fighting it because you want me to fight. Right? I'm going to fight according to your plan. So this is a bit of interesting thing to understand, because you are not taking control of your life. You are giving the control of your life to Krishna. By willingly becoming his instrument, you are now telling Krishna that you take control of my life. I'm not going to take control of my life. And this seems kind of counterintuitive. Like how can we just give the control of our life to somebody else and benefit from that? We think that, oh, I should be in control of my life. Every material world is giving us every impetus to take control of our life. But here, Krishna is saying that you become my instrument. So he's saying, let me control you. Or Arjuna is accepting that he wants to be controlled by Krishna. So how can that work? This we can understand as it being very, very reassuring. It can be very empowering, and it can also be very hope-giving. So let us think of different situations and think of what happens when you think you are in control, and what will happen if Krishna was in control. So whenever there's success in your life, and you think that, oh, I am the reason why I am successful, what would that bring rise to? It would bring rise to a feeling of being proud. It also might lead to being complacent, because you're resting on your laurels. But if you say that, oh, I am only successful because Krishna wanted me to become successful, what does that make you feel? It will make you feel more humble. It will make you feel grateful. It will make you feel grateful for all the success you get. There used to be this saying that humility is the enzyme that helps to digest success. Humility is the enzyme that helps to digest success. And how do we understand this in the Mahabharata? You have two personalities. You have Duryodhana and you have Yudhishthira. Now, they were supremely successful in their own way. But Duryodhana, in every of his successes, he got more and more proud. While Yudhishthir, even though he had so many successes, he remained as humble as ever. Because one is a devotee of Krishna, and one is not a devotee of Krishna. One thinks that he's doing everything, and the other one is saying that no, everything is happening according to God's plan. So you can see that even the characteristic, the same criteria is success. But one person thinks he's done it, the other person is saying that no, Krishna has done it for me. And look at the ideology that has happened from the same thing. Another example is, say there is an alcoholic father, and then there are two sons of that alcoholic father. One son decides to become an alcoholic, and the other person doesn't even touch alcohol. And somebody asks his two sons, why have you chosen this path? And the alcoholic son says that, oh, it's because my father was an alcoholic, that's why I am an alcoholic. And then he asks the sober son, okay, why have you chosen to be sober? And then the sober son says, oh, it's because my father was an alcoholic that I've chosen to be sober. So the situation is the same, that the father is alcoholic, but then the two sons' ideology is completely different, because the way of looking at things is completely different. Now, let's think of another situation. What about when there's failure? When there's failure and you think that, oh, I control whatever has happened, and it's because of my actions, failure has come about. What do you think will happen? You'll feel depressed, you'll have frustrations that you think that it's because of you nothing is happening, or you are failing. But if failure comes and you think that, oh, it's Krishna's plan that failure has come, it will make you what? It will make you more receptive, more reflective, it will make you more determined, it will make you more accepting of the situation. That, oh, Krishna wants me to learn something from this. Right? When you have that sort of viewpoint that Krishna controls my life, then you have a lot of, I would say, growth mindset. That whatever is happening to me is either by Krishna, it's always Krishna's grace, sometimes through the carrot and sometimes through the stick policy. So even the hard times, is Krishna telling us or reminding us of improving ourselves. Just like how there is a parent sometimes disciplines the child through either sweet words, or encourages the child through sweet words, or disciplines the child through some strict regulations. But it's all for the benefit of the child. Similarly, Krishna is always looking out for us, and he's always our best well-wisher. But sometimes it comes through good things, and sometimes it comes through bad things. But ultimately, it's always a good thing. And now we go to a few questions that people raise on this particular verse. Is that how is it possible that the entire universe was shown to Arjuna in just one place and at one time? So how do we understand that? It's because Krishna pervades the entire universe. You know, when we were discussing the creation, and we said that the creation takes place through Krishna's Purusha avatars, and there are three Purusha avatars: the Mahavishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, and the Kshirodaksha Vishnu. Kshirodaksha Vishnu is the expansion of Krishna that resides in each and every atom. And so everywhere you see right now, Krishna is present in each and every atom. So that way, Krishna is pervaded throughout the entire universe. So it is actually more like the universe is pervading Krishna, not Krishna pervading the entire universe. So that is why, although Krishna is at one place, the entire universe is within him. Wherever he is, it's within him. Like even when we saw how Yashoda Maya saw the entire universe in Krishna, it's because the universe actually resides within Krishna. It doesn't reside outside. It resides within Krishna. That's why we see that when Yashoda Maya looked into Krishna's mouth, she saw the entire universe, and she also saw herself looking at Krishna inside the mouth. So it was like an inception kind of model there, that seeing herself within Krishna. So it's That's how we can understand that. And another question is, Arjuna could ask Krishna directly to show him the universal form, but how can we see it? Like, Krishna was physically in front of Arjuna, and so Arjuna could ask him to show me the universal form. But Krishna is not present physically in front of us. So how can we ask Krishna to show us his universal form? But to answer that, we have to become like Arjuna. We have to become like a devotee like Arjuna. We have to become an unalloyed devotee like Arjuna. When we become devotees, what happens is that our consciousness, it elevates. It elevates from the material level to the spiritual level. And when it elevates to the spiritual level, you are able to detect divinity much more than now. For example, there's a car that is broken down and it's making some noise. I will look at that sound and I think that, okay, there's something wrong. I don't know what is wrong with the car. But an experienced engineer or mechanic, as soon as he hears the sound, he knows exactly what the problem is, because he's got a higher consciousness in that particular field. Because for me, I might not be able to understand that, but the mechanic will be able to know what exactly is wrong with the car just by the sound the car makes. So it's because he's got a more elevated or refined consciousness in that field. So that similarly, when you have a refined consciousness in the spiritual level, then you're able to detect the presence of Krishna, the presence of God everywhere. And how do we refine our consciousness? And Rupa Goswami, in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he's given us the complete science of devotion. And in that, he has highlighted 5 aspects of the 5 most important aspects of improving or refining our consciousness. And then the 5 aspects are: 1, which is to associate with spiritual people, or called sadhu sangha. When you associate with spiritual people, then whatever they talk about is naturally going to be connected to Krishna. So the more you associate with them, the more your mind is also thinking about Krishna. And that will gradually improve your consciousness, because what you think is what you become. So if you hang out with devotees, then you automatically pick up the traits of devotees. And because devotees are already situated on the mode of goodness, your consciousness level will also rise to the mode of goodness. And then you'll be able to perceive and understand divinity. Second is spiritual books. So it says Bhagavata Shravana. You should keep on hearing and understanding the messages that are there in the Gita and the Bhagavatam. Because that is compared to like a cleaning device. Our heart is so dirty, it's accumulated a lot of dirt, a lot of material contamination. And this knowledge is like a cleaning machine. It cleans out all the dirt that we accumulated in our life, in our heart over lifetimes. So, and it purifies our heart, purify our consciousness. The third thing is spiritual sounds, which is Nam Kirtan. Because when you read Sankirtan, which is actually the recommended yajna for this day and age. The Sankirtan yajna is the recommended yajna for this Kali Yuga. So we should take advantage of that, because it is the most easiest and the most potent way to clean our consciousness. Fourth one is spiritual places, which is Mathura Vas, which is we have to try and make an attempt to at least visit pilgrimage sites where those places are already full of spiritual people. So the vibrations of the place are very, very potent and very positive, and it can help one progress very quickly in cleaning their consciousness or turning the consciousness into spiritual consciousness. And finally, is spiritual forms. to do Murti Seva, because we have deities in front of us, just by offering obeisances and serving the deities, our mind is constantly thinking about Krishna. It is making it practical to offer services. Is making a complex understanding very easy, very practical, and using our senses in a very practical manner when you're doing Murti Seva. So these are the 5 most powerful, potent ways which we can use to develop devotionally and to improve our consciousness, to purify our consciousness. And then once we do that, then we can get to the level of becoming pure devotees, and then we'll be able to see Krishna everywhere, even through his universal form, if need be. So that's the purpose of this test. If anyone has got any questions, you can ask. So it's Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.